everyone, welcome to the Chronicles of Kathleen. I'm Kathleen, and this is a place for cozy moments, thoughtful living, and managing small, meaningful challenges in manageable ways. Now, it is full on summertime, and you may or may not know that I'm a teacher, and that means that school is out for the summer, and I have the summer off. As a teacher, people obviously assume that summer is just a magical, freeing, and relaxing time. And it is for a lot of people. But for me, it's actually the opposite. As the summer gets closer, my friends and family always ask me, "Are you super excited for summer? What are your plans? You get the whole summer off. You get to relax. You get to do whatever you want." Everyone thinks that teachers spend June through August just sipping iced lattes, drinking Mai Tais at 10 a.m. while reading their scholarly books and laying in the sun. And yes, they do all those things and more. But meanwhile, I'm over here like, so what do I do with my free time without students asking me for a pencil, telling me that they have a hangnail and they expect me to fix it, chasing down students to make sure that they get to class so that they can learn, and all the while writing lesson plans to individualize how students learn in their very unique way. How do I go from having these high expectations of me to having no expectations whatsoever? When the school year ends, I go from having this high structure and a purpose and just a million things on my to-do list every single day to all of a sudden having no structure, no to-do list, nothing to do in my day. And I have nothing but time. It kind of feels like I'm floating, and not in the 90s cool witch movie way in which they're playing light as a feather, stiff as a board. Do you remember that? But it's like I'm floating in space without any direction. If you know me, you know that the prospect of floating in outer space without any direction is one of my very irrational fears. I kind of feel like Tony Stark in Endgame, where I'm floating in a spaceship and going just to the dark abyss, but I don't have a really cool, badass, half human, half robot companion with me. So to me, summer is actually pretty anxiety provoking. Now, in the past, summers have looked like me having anxiety attacks more than once a week, sitting at home just like eating Doritos and cookies, snapping at loved ones. You get the idea. Some summers I've gone days without smiling. I mean, I've spent whole weeks feel like I'm just wasting my life because the anxiety is just so crippling to me. Now, I'm someone that thrives on a goal. I thrive on bettering myself, making sure that I'm filling my time and my space with things that are productive or things that make me happy. And the summers just haven't really done that because I haven't had things that have made me productive. Last year, I recognized this pattern in myself and I determined that I needed a summer purpose. It just so happened that me and my friends were planning a trip to Maine. We rented a van called Goldie and we drove from Portland to Acadia National Park and back. And I pretty much planned much of the trip. So planning for that trip really gave me a lot of purpose. And because it was at the end of the summer, I had all the summer to train for the trip with these epic hikes. My mission was to train my body to get used to hiking all day by doing all these different hikes around Minnesota. And if you've hiked around Minnesota, you know that we have some really, really good parks. So because of that, it worked. I felt great. My body felt great. My mind was clear and I had a purpose. And I think I had only one anxiety attack all summer, which is a significant improvement from my past summers. Now, that was a lot of fun, but this year I don't really have a trip to get ready for. I don't have anything to train my body specifically for. So that means I have to train my mind in a sense. So this year I have to have a different purpose. I'm giving myself a summer reset framework. It's not going to be rules and it's not going to be pressure. It's not productivity for productivity's sake, but it's a gentle structure that can help me feel grounded and good, which really is the whole goal, is just to feel grounded and good. Is it productivity or productivity? I'm going with productivity. So today I'm sharing 10 things I'm doing for my summer reset, why they matter, and how I'm actually going to stick with them so I don't become a couch dwelling cryptid with crippling anxiety like I've had in past summers. So without further ado, here are the 10 habits I'm building into my summer routine. Number one, 10,000 steps per day. Now, I know this sounds really generic. Like everyone says, it's a magic number. Go get 10,000 steps per day. You're going to be super healthy. However, I am an active girly and I really like to move. However, I often lack the motivation and I just won't do it unless it's part of my routine. At the same time, I recognize that no matter how much I'm not in the mood, once I'm out walking, I feel better. I find that the momentum continues on throughout my day so that I can get back to the rest of my wish list. Now, let's be clear, this is not for weight loss. It's not for the numbers, but it's solely because it's good for me and I feel the effects right away. Number two, follow a workout routine. Now, like I said, I am an active girly and I have had a workout routine for years. In fact, it kind of got to an unhealthy point many years ago when I would work out 3 times a day. And I realized that that is not something that's going to be sustainable for me. Now, I love to strength train and I love to challenge myself to failure and increase my weights. Now, as cliche as it sounds, I do recognize that working out actually increases your mood. It's science. As much as it really sucks in the moment, much like walking, you feel better afterwards. You won't be sorry that you did it. It also allows me to be present. I found that when I'm working out, I am so tired and I'm so focused on my moves and making sure that I have the right form and actually breathing that I really can't think of any of my outside problems. I just don't have the mental fortitude to let those invasive thoughts enter my mind. So, having that break is really something that I welcome. I've also found that having a structured program really helps me stay on track and it saves me the brain power since I'm not the one planning the workouts. I work out to Sydney Cummings' Howdy Shells workouts on YouTube, and they're totally free and they're the real deal. They're incredibly challenging and I love how she is just super motivating. She always gives these positive, motivating talks at the end of each workout, and it really just drives me to continue my day. So check her out if you're into it. Number three, get ready each day. So shower, breakfast, brush your teeth, do your hair, do your makeup, get dressed. It's a simple baseline. These are things that make me feel like a human being. Now, in the school year, this is something that was obviously part of my routine. I had to do this to be able to go to work. In the summer, it's a really good excuse where I don't have to do this and I can just kind of laze around and not look presentable. I found that even if I don't have anywhere to go that day, a full morning routine puts me in a mindset that makes me want to accomplish things that day. I feel really good about myself and I really look forward to the day ahead. It is a whole mental mind shift. Number four, journal daily. I have a bullet journal in which I track my mood, my daily goals, things that I am watching, things I'm listening to. I have a planner in there. I talk about the highlight of my day. I talk about my goal for the next day, any adulting tasks I finish that day, lots of things that I track. At the end of the day, I sit down and it's really satisfying and it gives me an opportunity to reflect on my habits and my feelings, just things like that every day. On top of that, I journal when I feel like it. I don't feel the need to journal every single day, but I when I really feel like I need to work through some feelings or work through some thoughts, journaling is really something that can be life-changing. It helps. Number 5, one mindfulness activity per day. This can look like many different things. It could be like an adult coloring book or drawing or painting or breathing or just sitting outside in the yard and observing. The point is not the activity you're doing. The point is that you are just sitting and observing something outside of yourself for 5 minutes, 30 minutes. It doesn't matter. Whatever works for me that day and my schedule really just helps me relax and ground myself. And that's something I think I need to start my day with every day. Number 6, one productive task per day. It could be something tiny like putting away a yoga mat that I left out from the workout yesterday. On the opposite end of things, it could be like organizing my shed that I've been putting off for 2 years. I don't think I'm going to accomplish that this summer. Like I said, the point isn't productivity for productivity's sake. It's to explore my sense of purpose and to calm my anxieties. Now, I found that if I let my to do list pile up, I get overwhelmed and anxious. If I leave my dishes on the counter for days, they build up and I get really anxious about them. And then I do it out of anxiety. I don't do it in a calm, productive sense. It just puts me in a bad mindset and I feel really over my head. Doing at least one productive thing a day allows me to stay on top of my pile. So instead of letting my clothes pile up on the floor, which is something I do pretty often, I can let that be my productive activity for the day and not get anxious about how dirty and cluttered everything is. At least that's my hope for the summer. Number 7, do something creative 3 times per week. Paint, write, color, draw, glue things to other things, whatever sparks that joy. This goes along with doing something that's mindful, right? The point is to get me to relax and ground myself. I keep going back to that, relax and ground myself. It's important to live in the moment. And it produces something really cool at the same time. Now, this year has been the year that I've really gotten into some creative endeavors. I've really gotten into embroidery and adult coloring books. I have a sewing machine. I haven't used it yet, but one of my goals is to be able to use it, at least the basics of it. And because I have been more creative this year, I think that my mind has really opened up. I feel really motivated and empowered and excited. I'm not just sitting watching TV, I'm creating something. It's really fun. So this summer, I want to keep that going. I want to be able to keep creating. Number 8, get takeout once per month. Now, this is more of a rule that I have to strictly stay with, as that was a request from my bank account. We all know to never mess with the banking system. Along with being mindful of my brain and my body, I'm trying to be mindful of my financials. Spending unnecessarily can have a lot of negative repercussions. One be that I'm saving less money for things that I want to do, like a future trip or eating out with a friend or an emergency fund, which really isn't that fun, to be honest. One of my more rational fears is that an emergency will arise and I won't have the money to pay for it. So I'll pay for it with a credit card. And then I've racked up all of this debt with all of this high interest. And then that's good for not for very obvious reasons. And I'm in debt forever. And you get the idea. I mean, it's a legit fear. Also, another reason that I don't want to be able to eat out as much is that in general, it is less healthy than eating at home. I tend to cook and eat healthy at home, but when I get food delivered, it's like all of that goes out the window. Like yesterday was my one day that I got food out and I got a bunch of pasta. Now, I did get a side salad in there, but I got a pasta. So, so yeah, not the best for me. So really it's important that I strictly follow this rule for both healthy spending and healthy eating reasons. Number 9, read 3 days a week. Now, I have about 15 books in my queue, like no joke. My shelves, as you can tell, are filled with books, and I somehow manage to find more shelf space when I buy more books. And I don't get rid of books, I like to keep them. Once my hairstylist compared me to Belle from Beauty and the Beast because I went into the salon with like 5 books in my hand. Best compliment of my life. Now, the truth is, I really love reading, but I'm not able to do it as much as I would like, or I just lack the motivation to do it sometimes. Like I said, sitting in front of the TV and watching Bravo is a lot more enticing than really working my mind and reading a book sometimes. So it's important that I give myself a structure to read in the week so that I can go through my queue and I can buy more books. Now, I also plan to create a series on social media in which, after I finish reading a book, I give a book review and then I embroider a bookmark that's based off of that book. And then I'll keep that bookmark in that book forever. Now, I've never done a book review before, but I feel like I could figure it out. Seems like a really good challenge. And it combines two of my loves, which is reading as well as the art of embroidery. And it kind of combines it into one creative medium. So stay tuned for that. Last but not least, one challenge per week. Now, I feel like this is really getting to the heart of why my summers have been more difficult. One reason that I've had such anxiety provoking summers is because I've let my anxiety get so big that I've had a hard time just leaving the house. I've had a hard time leaving the house and going alone. I've really had to push myself to be able to leave my house and go do things by myself. It really is outside of my comfort zone. Now, there's a couple of different reasons for this. One is that I am a woman. Now, going out in public as a woman in America can be risky. The feeling has been conditioned in us over time. If you're a woman, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, we know how to get out of precarious situations, and whenever we're out, we know where our exits are. I always keep my keys in my hand to be able to stab someone in case a bad guy comes to get me. And I am ready to dial 911 without any hesitation. We have also learned to never go to a second location. Fight with all your might. I'm a woman. This is our reality. Another reason that I have anxiety going out by myself is because when I'm out alone, I don't have anyone to default to. I have to rely solely on myself for entertainment purposes, for solving problems, and to be social. To me, all of that feels really intimidating. Without having someone to talk to me or entertain me or just be there with me, my invasive thoughts really take over. I know that happens to me when I'm at home alone, but it's like a whole nother level when I'm in public. Just like my safety, I am hyper aware of others around me. I always have these invasive thoughts like, are they judging me? Do they like me? Do they think that I'm stupid? Do they think I'm not capable? When I'm out by myself, I don't have someone to distract me from these thoughts. Now, I know most of the time people just don't care. They're not judging you. And if they are, like, who cares, right? This is something that I've been coaching myself on pretty consistently this last year. And I've also realized that having these invasive thoughts have kept me from going out on adventures and doing things that I want to do. And that's not a reason to not do those things. So, like I said, last year I went out on hikes and I did these by myself. And this was a really big step for me. Being out in nature and doing one of my favorite things in the world really calmed my invasive thoughts, and it shifted my thought process by using calming techniques as well. So, this year, along with hiking, I want to do challenges that bring me outside of my comfort zone and give me the good kind of anxious. I want to get anxious on purpose. It's the anxious that I can handle, the anxious that I can learn from. So that's my plan. I'm going to start small, things like editing this video in a coffee shop by myself, going to art fairs alone, maybe going to a craft class by myself, join a book club could be really fun, go and do touristy things all by myself. And eventually I want to grow in that comfort zone into doing something really big. Ugh. It's so funny. I really want to say it, but I also don't want to say it at the same time because it's like saying it means that I am committing to it. Okay, here it goes. For years, I've had this big dream that I've wanted to solo travel. Along with crafting and hiking, traveling is one of my favorite things to do. And I haven't been able to travel as much as I've wanted to. And a lot of that reasoning is because I haven't had a lot of people to travel with. And as I said before, not having anyone to do something with isn't a reason not to do it. Otherwise, I just feel like I'd be waiting forever. And I feel like I've waited too long now, anyways. So I would like to take the Great American Road Trip. I recognize it probably won't be this summer since I have this challenge that I'm working on and I need to be able to work up my funds. Um, but maybe the spring, fall, winter? We'll see. Let's focus on one challenge per week until then. Now, I know that this list looks like a lot, and I know the saying, keep it simple, stupid, right? Kiss. Anyone else learn that in elementary school? I know that it won't work for everybody, but this list isn't for everybody. This list is specifically for me. Putting everything in one place will really help me stay on track. It keeps me from wandering off the path or feeling that terrifying floating feeling out in space. Ooh, God, I hate the thought of that. Ugh. Keeps me from watching Bravo all day, which don't get me wrong, there is a time and place for Bravo. I am an avid Bravo watcher, but there has to be a limit, right? Okay, so I really want to make the point that this list is not perfection and it's not necessarily productivity, like I've said many times, and it's not checking off every single box. The point of this list is to have relief and purpose for myself, to feel good and to feel grounded. That's it. I need to keep going back to that mantra, good and grounded, good and grounded, good and grounded. If I don't get everything done on my list, that is okay. If I need to throw the whole list out the window and watch 90s rom-coms that day, I'm allowed, and I happily will. Like yesterday, I had a loved one that needed me, so I threw the entire list out of the window and I was there for that person. And I was happily able to do that, and I wanted to. Now, as long as I have my list and my structure, I am good. And it gives me something to look forward to every day. It keeps me from slipping into that summertime sadness that I felt before. Summertime, summertime sadness. So here's the how. So each morning I'm going to write three things. One is one thing I'm proud of from the day before. One is what I'm looking forward to that day. And one is any challenges that I anticipate and how I'm going to combat those challenges. Now, this is something that I used to teach and work with students with social emotional needs, and it really helped them a lot. And I thought this really could help me too. It helps shift the mindset to the positive. It helps me plan for the day. It helps me use my coping strategies in a positive and healthy way. After I write those three things, I then write my simple to do list for the day. It's not anything fancy, it's just check marks in a box. It's just the things that I want to hit that day, and I check them off as I go throughout my day, and that's it. Easy. And really, it's just something that just keeps me structured throughout the day, something to keep looking forward to and keep moving toward instead of looking at my phone and doom scrolling all day. And like I said, like watching Bravo. Sorry, I really do love Bravo. So that is my summer reset 10 habits that I'm going to incorporate within one framework. So if you're someone who struggles with more unstructured time, or if summer feels more overwhelming to you, maybe this will help you inspire you to create your own kind of framework or maybe follow mine. And if you're also a teacher who struggles and panics during the summer, solidarity with you. So let me know in the comments which habits you would like to try or what your summer reset looks like. And if you have any summer habits that you think that I should try, you could comment that as well. I live in the Twin Cities of Minnesota. If you have any specific ideas. Last, if you have any ideas for a solo female friendly road trip or any travel destinations, comment your favorites in there as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to follow along with me on this journey, or if you want to do the journey with me, make sure that you're following, liking, subscribing, all those things. Have a great day. And don't forget, do something that your future self would be proud of you for today. Bye.